Secret of the Ferns, Chapter 4. The Sorcerer's Last Wish. The apprentice looked up at his wise friend who had been quiet the last few sessions of learning magic. Something troubled him.
I've got a bone to pick with you, son.
Where? Which graveyard?
Very well. If you do not wish to take me seriously, then I suppose I can find someone else to appoint this task to.
The sorcerer twisted his long silver beard.
I was only half kidding.
The young apprentice lied.
There is an oak tree at the end of Rottingham Cemetery.
So there is a graveyard. I just knew it. I'll get my shovels and broom ready for the...
Silence, youngin'.
The sorcerer transfigured his apprentice's lips into a stitched, closed mouth.
You must listen carefully to what I say. I am dying, son. I don't have much time left to explain.
The apprentice's mouth returned to normal and was left agape in disbelief.
There is not much here in East Union for us wizard folk, but in Rottingham Cemetery, there's a path that leads to what appears to be a dead-end patch of forest. Keep your wizard eye open. You will see an unsophisticated path in a brush next to the giant oak tree. Follow this path out of this town if you wish to achieve your full potential as a wizard. There are other villages besides East Union and Shantyville, other cultures and schools bountiful with priceless knowledge. And remember, knowledge is worth more than gold.
The sorcerer then immediately vanished, leaving his young apprentice confused in a worrisome way. He left the hut at midnight, as his guru suggested, and found a tame stretch of woods leading to a town of lanterns near a lake. The lake was completely surrounded by huts and canoes. The giant body of water was illuminated by many candles and paper lanterns. It was home to a seemingly quaint village, but the apprentice did not see the sheer size of the lake and settlements on and off the water. There were clowns juggling bottled lightning, talking horses that had funny walks and prances, and water mages that hung large drops of suspended water like fruit baskets along the gutters of their huts. The tents that provided beer were the most glorious, most candlelit, and ambient venues with the unmistakable serenity of a dream. The town had an odd secret. It could never have daylight, only nighttime. The moon would change phases and the fish would breed in seasons. But there was no day, no sunrise, no sunsets. The lanterns that were plentiful made more sense to our apprentice. He loved their food and customs, songs and magic, but he could not stay, for he had a vitamin D deficiency that magic could not solve. He did love the night, though. The next night he left through the easternmost part of the forest to the next town lit by a white fog of mere opal-colored, muddied light and clouded village. There were oil lanterns of neon blue fire blazes that were intense, and the water mages were not there. This village specified in plants. The apprentice learned quite a bit about plants and found an old friend teaching a class there. Or so he thought. When he had gone to confront his master of lying about his death, the man was quite confused, and up close, less obscured by the fog, proved to be an entirely different man. This proved awkward, so the apprentice took a torch with him into the woods, and went into the next round of villages. There he found 3 villages that were identical. The same individuals and buildings and fields and trees, just a loop of time and space, these repeating villages. It was as if he had stepped into a kaleidoscope realm of reality, each spectral repeating the last in a slightly different hue and shade. From these he learned a little advanced magic here and there, and at once he faced a huge problem. A woman had fallen in love with him. She was in the first of the identical villages, but not the other 2. And she was the anomaly, the only one of the identical towns. Turns out when the time and space distortion happened, she was out of town and not there to be copied and pasted twice into existence. The next town was outside of the kaleidoscope villages, and it was a place full of rich folk. The town after was full of poor folk. The memory of the woman stayed etched in his heart. He knew she could not leave her town. He knew he could never truly love her back. He was depressed over this while skipping rocks in a pond over in the poor folk town. The people left him alone there. Unlike the rich folk town, he placed a high importance on gold and property. The rich town taxed him, fined him, charged him, and price gouged him. They always asked for more than they gave. He had no more money for food, so he had to figure things out in the poor folk town. It was a town lost in opportunity for a wizard like him. He had yet to discover a library there. And when this discovery was finally made, everything he thought he knew about wizards and people was upturned and challenged. He missed the sorcerer, but was glad to have followed his advice, and was glad his master was at peace. He remembered the woman who loved him. His new knowledge opened his heart for her, so he began making preparations to continue his travels. The apprentice was unfortunately eaten by lions. They had ambushed him when he returned home. And that concludes our story for today. There will be more coming. I do want to add as a note from the author that I am an amateur writer, an amateur musician. I'm not good at making videos, editing videos, adding captions. I'm not good at voice acting either. So if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you. I hope you are enjoying these stories. They are set in the same universe, and yes, they are connected. However, it doesn't seem so. So stay tuned and keep listening, watching, and reading. Thank you.